Good morning and welcome to my garden. We have had 4 days of beautiful soaking rain. It has been gentle, it has not come with a storm, and it has been soaking, and it has gone on and on. We're coming up to close to 250 mils. I'm sure we'll have a final count tomorrow morning. My pond is beautifully full, the dam is beautifully full, and I think I'll do our March garden walk in the rain. Welcome to my garden. Expecting the rain has given me the incentive to do lots of planting and cleaning up in the garden. This is my East Wedge Garden, and you can see all the vines and the weeds are gone. I've harvested some rosella and made a batch of jam out of that. So good, so delicious. My okra was suffering from the dry weather, but it's now producing a few pods for me. Last crop in here was corn, and I oversowed it with carrot seeds, and you can see a number of the carrot plants did come up and they are growing well. I've even got some nice sized carrots happening there, and I could probably pick them, and I probably should after all this rain, or they're going to go rotten. You can see some of the seeds coming up. This is lettuce, first fleet lettuce, and I've got carrots in there, and I've got other brassicas further over there. Over that side, I have beetroot. Expecting the rain, I thought I'd just plant lots of seeds in the garden and let them grow because of the rain. In the middle, you can see I've got 2 camellia plants. These camellia plants are going to form a beautiful topiary stand of 3 plants when they get larger. That'll be a lovely display right beside my pond. This other rosella plant has lovely flowers on it now and some fruit that's growing, and that'll be ready to harvest in a few days. Contour 1 on the east. You can see the swale here has a good amount of water in it. Now, I've been gradually removing the swales from around this garden because they make it a little bit hard to mow because the mower slips into the swale. But in this case, this swale is doing exactly what it's designed to do. It is trapping the water, preventing it from running away, and it will be soaking down deep into the ground where my plants can all access it. Everything's looking so much happier now that they've all got rain. Yacon, capsicum. This bird's eye chilli takes up so much space. Clearly it's happy. I'm not so sure the okra here is happy to be smothered. I'm loving the regrowth on my syntropics row. I chopped and dropped my elderberry and my arrowroot just after the first lot of rain arrived about 2 weeks ago. So this is 2 weeks of regrowth, and it's looking so good. Nectarine tree losing leaves at the end of summer. It'll come back with new leaves in spring. I have noticed my papaya plant has still got some branches growing from the top, but what I've also noticed is how strong and hard the stem is that's coming out of the top of this papaya plant. And I would have expected that to fall apart, and I would have expected these branches to fall off. But I'm thrilled to see that they're really hard. I've got an umbrella in one hand and a phone in the other, so I can't knock and show you, but that's really firm, and you can see it goes down into the trunk. That part has really strengthened up. There's no danger of those breaking the trunk. That was an unexpected discovery for me. I was sure they were going to break and fall off, but I'm not so sure they will now. It's interesting, the apricot hasn't lost as many leaves as the nectarine has. They must lose their leaves a little bit later. Now the nectarine. Now these branches on the side of this papaya are a little bit different from the others. But you can see there that it's firmed up on the inside, and that's not going to break. My little nectarine that I planted here, I've been pruning its side shoots, and it's now getting a strong straight trunk. That's almost a knee high. When it is knee high, I will allow it to branch and then we can start getting some good structure on it. A couple of nice looking pineapples ready to harvest in a few weeks. I've sprinkled seeds here, lots of zinnia seeds you can see coming up. They've been sprinkled from the zinnias that have been growing here in this garden already. Contour 2 on the east. You can see this swale has been shallowed out, and you can also see it's not holding any water now. It was earlier, and if you come up here you can see the two different lines of debris from where the different water levels were. The cyclone has crossed the coast further north, and so this will be the end of our heavy rain. The roses that I have on the end of this bed, they must be climbing roses, because I tell you what, they're enjoying climbing. I've been considering changing how I do this bed. This trellis that I have for my grapes, I've not been satisfied with it. I've not managed to tension those wires, and I am concerned about how I am supposed to access those banana plants as they get bigger with those wires there. So my plan is to adjust this bed. This sheet panel that I have here, this will be used for the grapevines, and that will become my new trellis. And then I can plant beans along there as well, and I can allow the climbing rose to climb with it. I'll keep the citronella and the geraniums planted between. There's another grapevine. It's doing okay right now, but it'd be lovely to see that on a trellis. The pumpkin vines that I encouraged up on the trellis, I don't believe that was a success. When I kept lifting them up to put them back on the trellis because they had a habit of falling, they tended to snap or crack. The fruit that was growing on top, it tended to be eaten by birds a lot more than any of the fruit that grew on the ground was damaged by animals. So I don't think growing pumpkin up and over a trellis is a good idea. The other thing is that pumpkin vines tend to sometimes put roots down into the ground along their stems. And when they're up on the trellis, they can't do that. So what am I going to do with my pumpkin vines? Well, when I put my grapevines on the trellis, I will be moving the pumpkins and the other melons into my windbreak row. Isn't this a beautiful sight? I can't wait until it's beautiful and clean and it's got rocks and plants and fish. You can see over here there is a definite low side compared with the definite higher side on the western side of the pond. In talking about this with friends, we had the idea that perhaps what I could do when I do my garden edging around the wedge gardens, I can continue it along here and around the other wedge garden all as one unit. And I think that would look lovely. If we continued it also along the back there, that would allow us to raise the height of the pond a little bit and maybe get it deeper by going up, not down. But putting one course of retainer wall bricks over that side would help to stabilise that side, and I believe it needs stabilising. And putting two, well, if we put one course over there, we're going to have to put at least two courses over here. Putting two courses over here would give us a nice little wall to sit on, so we could sit and enjoy the pond. Contour 1 in the middle. Planted lots of carrot seeds here, and the carrot plants that were here previously did drop a lot of seeds. There's also a lot of cobbler's peg seeds in here, but that's okay. They'll do what they need to do, and then I'll use them as chop and drop. Picking lots of lemons at the moment. Funny, that's what this tree is called. It was bought from the local store as a lots of lemons. And yes, it has produced a lot of lemons. My lime plants are flowering, and there's some fruit on the plants too. I can't remember what bean this is that I planted on this end of the trellis, but it's growing really happily. I know I've got some Suriname spinach here, and I've got some green beans there as well. That'd be Blue Lake green beans. It's becoming a nice little jungle on that trellis. Wedge Garden on the north. So this garden I've also planted up with lots of brassicas, and you can see they're all coming up. The rain has been good for sprouting seeds here. We've got some carrots starting to come up, but I planted this more recently than I did the other one. And looks like over here, I've got some pak choi coming up too. So that'll be lovely to have greens in the garden again. Ah, look at that. Some mixed brassica seeds that I planted must have got spilt into this flower, and now they're germinating in the flower. I also planted some broad beans here. They haven't come up yet, but they will eventually. Contour one on the north, you can see that the swale that I have here is holding water. Now this has a much more gentle edge, and this is less of a problem to mow. I can actually put the mower wheel in the swale. And you can see everything's looking really happy here. This is 1 week worth of regrowth after being pruned, after being chopped and dropped. Look at this Thai basil. It has grown back so much. The plant was huge and flowering and falling all over the place. And so when I pruned it, I wasn't expecting it to grow back so fast, but it has done an excellent job. And look at this callistemon. There is so much new growth on this plant. It has really appreciated the other plants being chopped and dropped and the rain. Pigeon pea, breynia. Cucumbers up here. I haven't seen any fruit yet, but hopefully we'll get some. Now this is a climbing spinach. The packet said it performs best when it's on a trellis and not on the ground. It's had lots of flowers, but I think they're all male flowers. I might just have to pull off some of the male flowers like I do in pumpkin vines when there's all male flowers and no female flowers. It generally makes the female flowers appear. I guess that'll be tomorrow's job after the rain's finished. My zucchini here has not produced a second crop after the fruit fly found it. And now that we've had all this rain, I expect it to die. This is the yellow zucchini, and that plant certainly is plenty yellow. I don't think it's going to produce anything more. This is the Lebanese zucchini. I have 2 plants here. One produced a very white coloured Lebanese zucchini. The other one produced a very green, blotchy coloured Lebanese zucchini. That was quite interesting. Then the next time this front one produced, it produced 2 blotchy green zucchinis. However, one looked like a white zucchini with green blotches, and the other one looked like a green zucchini with white blotches. Unfortunately, they were put in dinner before I got a chance to take a comparison photo. Contour 2 on the north. Look at the side branches on this papaya. I'm going to have to prune some of them off so that there is more airflow. There's some really good looking fruit on that. I don't know how I'm supposed to pick them. I might have to make myself a fruit picker. I don't know, with a fruit bottle. Here's another Thai basil that I cut down very low, but it's come back with so many new shoots. A salvia, pigeon pea, arrowroot, Photonia. The comfrey's looking good too. It appreciated the rain. Ah dear, it snapped it. So I had this trellis here because I've planted cucumber vines, but it looks like the trellis wasn't put in deeply enough and the rain softened the soil and knocked it over. It looks like it snapped off my carrot. So I hope those seeds were ripe enough to be useful for planting. Shallots, celery, leek. I planted all sorts of things in here. Looks like I've got some radish coming up. My avocados have got some really lovely new shoots on them. You see all the bright orange shoots. They're doing really well. I'm wondering how tall I should let this tree get before I start to prune it. Capsicum, I haven't got much fruit off that. The fruit fly found it. Wild rocket. Contour 3 on the north. Chop and drop row with lemongrass and pigeon pea. Various succulents. They look like they're appreciating the rain. A tea tree. Cranberry hibiscus. And you can see that I've gentled down the swale here. So any water that runs off would be caught by the chop and drop row. And I've tidied up contour 3 down this end as well. It's looking very different. I've chopped back the poinciana, letting a lot more light in here now. I have a fruit on my fig plant. I don't think that'll ripen before it gets too cold for it. This sweet potato is going wild. Celery, carrots, silver beet, and no potatoes. I did plant potatoes here, but obviously they're not going to come up. It's a real shame. I soaked them before I planted them, and then 24 hours later I got around to planting them. So I think I may have killed them. I did not intend for them to soak that long, but life happened and family happened, and we need to make priorities. My pomegranate has a good crop of fruit on it, but unfortunately this year the fruit fly have found it and they're all going rotten before they're large enough to eat. Maybe I have some hope of getting some fruit off them if I bag some of the smaller ones that haven't developed very far yet. Contour 4 on the north. Now that we're getting some rain, I think it's time that I actually chop this grass. It's falling over quite a lot and it is obstructing the fruit trees. This is a white nectarine. I've got some purple sweet potato here, apricot, some Okinawa sweet potato, another nectarine. Now I have planted pineapples along here, but you can see they're being smothered by the grass. So I think it's time for me to clear up the grass. And my cherry guava is largely smothered by the grass. So I do need to get my act together and clean all that up. There's our dam, nicely full. I'm really hoping that I get around to getting tanks on the shed and a pump so I can pump them up into the tanks. And there's the neighbour's dam overflowing over our driveway. Our camping yard was flooded with water a few hours ago. Well, thanks for coming for a walk through my garden with me. I hope you enjoyed a wet garden walk. I'm looking forward to all the new growth that's going to come about as a result of all this rain, all the fruit that'll come, and all the beautiful flowers that will come too. Thanks for joining me in my garden.